We're only one day away, Teddy, from the NBA Finals, Game 1 getting underway. But if you missed out last night, some home run theatrics by Derek Dietrich going yard 3 times. But before we talk a little bit of Major League Baseball, Ted, let's get right into the hot topics of the day. Paparazzi out there. Saw a guy limping a little bit getting on a plane named Kevin Durant headed to Toronto. Durant has not played, as we know, Teddy, for the past 3 weeks. He's been injured. But the stat that we always like to look to is the Warriors are 31-1 straight up when Kevin Durant misses a game, but Steph Curry plays in that game. Durant has been working on his jump shot, but on the side of the court, not doing team activities just yet. And as we say, Teddy, current Game 1 odds, Raptors still favored by 1, but that total's coming down a little bit here.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the wise guys have made it very clear. They like Toronto in Game 1. All the early money came on the Raptors, and some of that certainly has to do with Durant not expected to play. But the fact that he's even flying to Toronto ahead of the team in that regard has got to be viewed as a positive sign for Golden State. It means he's not that far, in theory, from returning to the court, and it means that he's still a Warrior. There's been all this talk, oh, we'll never see Durant again in a Warriors uniform. We'll never see Durant on this bench. Well, that's not the case. He's going to Toronto, even though the wise guys don't expect him to play.
Hey, Teddy, real quick on another bit of injury front here. We talked about DeMarcus Cousins coming back in the series. They asked Steve Kerr a really interesting question the other day and said, you know what? If this was a regular season game, yeah, we would throw him right out there. We'd let him work his way through it and, sort of build up for the playoff run. But obviously being the NBA Finals, do you see this maybe, look, being out a couple weeks here, now getting back into the flow, and the reserves had played very well? It's an interesting predicament because if you look at it, the talent that he is, but maybe throwing it off a little bit because they're coming into the Finals hot.
Yeah, I mean, look. When I'm adjusting for NBA injuries, the markets adjust right when they happen, and they adjust right again when their player comes back. I don't do that with my powering numbers. I'll adjust based on the team's performance, and then I'll adjust again once the guy comes back if the team steps up their level of play. It's not an automatic that a team gets better, even when you add Durant and Cousins, who are obviously two of the, 20 best players in the NBA, both of them. Two guys that have exceptional skills, and when acclimated, they clearly make the Warriors better. But when they're not acclimated, doesn't necessarily make the Warriors better, yet the markets always react like it does.
Teddy, 17s are the numbers of the day here when we talk about a power surge in Cincinnati. And why is that? 17 runs combined yesterday, 3 blasts by Derek Dietrich, and 17, yes, already a career high, Teddy. We're not even through May yet for Derek Dietrich hitting out of the 3 hole. 3 for 4 yesterday, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. And how about this stat, Teddy? 12 of the last 16 hits by Derek Dietrich, home runs. How about this surge?
Yeah, that's a guy that's swinging for the fences. He doesn't even play every day. He only has 64 at-bats in the month of May. But best quote of the night from Scooter Gennett, of course, who hit 4 dingers, improbably hit 4 dingers. What was that, last year or 2 years ago? When Gennett had that once-in-a-lifetime night for a guy that doesn't have big-time power. He's like, anybody can hit 3. No big deal. Bottom line, since he's playing good ball right now, and Dietrich, a big part of their current surge.
Sometimes stats lie, Teddy. If you have that future almanac, you like to check in. And I said, Teddy, you know what? I'm going to give you a free bet last night, and it's going to be on the Dodgers-New York Mets game. And by the way, just going to give you one statistic that you can head into the ball game with. Yeah, the Mets are going to go 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Doesn't matter. Michael Conforto's grand slam in the 7th inning propels the Mets to a 7-3 win, and a nice dog ticket there, plus 173.
Yeah, although, when you talk about a plus 173 dog and they have 20 chances with runners in scoring position, I'm not, even the 2 for 20, 20's too many for a dog in this range. And obviously the one that mattered was Conforto's granny in that ball game. And Robinson Cano was giving him advice before he went up to the plate. He's like, he's going to try to get you hit into a double play. And then boom, got a ball up. And quote, here's the quote at the end from Conforto. When I get back to the bench, I told Robinson right in front of Chili Davis that he's going to be my hitting coach now. I wasn't thinking about a slam, but it feels good to do that job in this situation. Of course, Dodgers' rare bullpen implosion. Worth noting this quote from Mickey Callaway about Steven Matz yesterday, who was pretty good through 6 innings. Quote, it was the best I've ever seen Matz pitch. His breaking ball and changeup are working well. He got ahead of hitters and did what he wanted to do. He's been really consistent, and I think we turned the corner. File that away for Matz's next start early next week.
File this one away here, Teddy. We filed away the NFC on our March to opening day here at sportsbookreview.com on that betting show. We're going to hit the AFC, and we're going to go AFC East here. Bills Mafia in the house, 2019 Buffalo Bills preview. If we take a look at some of the odds, wow. 100-1, Teddy, to win the Super Bowl in 2019. 50-1 to win the AFC. And the 2019 team total set at 6.5, but with a minus 167 here in New Jersey. Finished up last year, those Buffalo Bills 6-10 in the division, going 2-4. Look, you wanted to get the rookie quarterback some action. You got it last year. We see the athleticism. We see the big arm. Now it's time for them to take the next step. They did get a little bit more weapons here, Teddy, including on the ground, getting Frank Gore and TJ Yeldon, also picking up John Brown and Cole Beasley as some wide receiver weapons. I liked what they did in the draft because they stuck to their pick and they got value on the board with Ed Oliver. Is going to help pump up that defense a little bit. But it's one of those teams, Teddy, are we ready to anoint them? And not to say, obviously, Super Bowl champions. You see that by the 100-1. They're probably not going to come close to doing that. But taking that next step, winning 6 games last year with the rookie quarterback, can they get to 7? Can they get to 8? Can they make a playoff run, maybe a wild card spot? Because as we know in the AFC East, everything runs through New England. But this is a team on the rise. I like what they're doing. I like what's going on. I still think, Teddy, might be a year away here.
There's upside for Buffalo. I don't think there's any question about it. And, we think about the Bills as this downtrodden franchise. They've been mediocre. They haven't been bottom feeders. You know what I mean? They're between 7-9 and 9-7 for each of the previous 4 years. For last year, 6-10. They haven't gone worse than 6-10. In fact, they've been between 6-10 and 9-7 every year since 2011. So the entire decade, they've been 500, a little bit below 500. I like Sean McDermott. And you look at the defense this last year, boy, it was a really good defense. And that was a really good defense despite the fact that the offense stunk. For the season, they finished 0.2 yards per play, outgained by every snap. The rushing was even, 0.0 between what they allowed and what they gained. Allen's rookie season, he had a 67.9 QB rating. Opposing QB's only at 82.6, but when your QB's at 67.9, it's not likely to be a real good season, -5. In turnovers, though, last year, worth noting, top 5 in terms of strength of schedule toughness. This year, the schedule is much easier, a notable drop-off. You talked about some of the things they did. And remember, they've got a quarterback who's still on his rookie deal, in the way that the Rams have a quarterback on their rookie deal, and the Bears have a quarterback on their rookie deal. And all those teams, those 2 teams in particular, you might want to compare Buffalo to, because they're all making moves to win right now. And you talk about the additions they made, the skill position talent. They added, 5 offensive linemen in free agency, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, a couple of running backs. You bring in Ed Oliver on the defensive tackle, which, he's going to replace Kyle Williams. Well, big shoes to fill. Cody Ford as another offensive line addition. There's things to like about this Bills team moving forward. I think there's upside in Buffalo, and if I'm going to bet the Bills, I will be betting them over their season win total. Although, Josh Allen, I got to be honest, the jury's still out on his ability to throw downfield with a low completion quarterback and percentage quarterback in college and a low completion percentage quarterback his first season in the NFL. There are signs that Allen might be good. There are also signs he might not be all that good. The jury is out, and that means Buffalo lean over. I haven't bet them yet.